Al Pacino wakes every morning to the sound of an imaginary chorus singing the theme from The Godfather. It's not your typical alarm clock, but then again, Pacino isn't your typical anything. Born in East Harlem and raised in the Bronx, young Alfredo Pacino's acting career began while dodging fire hydrants and pigeons. Legend has it that he once performed Hamlet's soliloquy to a particularly unimpressed stray cat. Intent on honing his craft, Pacino joined the Herbert Birdhoff studio, where he famously mistook a method acting exercise for instructions on how to make a sandwich. His stint at the Actors Studio, studying under Lee Strasberg, was slightly more successful, despite his persistent confusion over whether method acting involved actual math. Then came the role of a lifetime, Michael Corleone in The Godfather. Director Francis Ford Coppola reportedly discovered Pacino sitting pensively at a cafe, a look of existential dread on his face that screamed, "I could be a mafia boss if I wasn't so worried about my cappuccino going cold." Post-Godfather, Pacino continued to choose roles that allowed him to simultaneously display his range and confound audiences. From the frazzled cop in Serpico to the hot-headed bank robber in Dog Day Afternoon, Pacino refused to be typecast, preferring instead to hover somewhere between menace and exhaustion. In Scarface, Pacino played Tony Montana, a character so manic that he reportedly needed 3 espresso shots before each scene, just to get into character. Critics were initially divided, but the film grew to become a cult classic. If by cult, you mean anyone who owns a DVD player and a tasteless Hawaiian shirt. The late 80s saw a downturn in Pacino's career, possibly because audiences were unready for roles where he didn't yell or point dramatically. But the early 90s marked his triumphant return. In Scent of a Woman, Pacino played a blind, irascible former Army officer whose phrase "hoo-ah" defied logic yet somehow made perfect sense. This role finally earned him his long-sought Academy Award, proving once and for all that you should never underestimate a man who can navigate a Ferrari better with his ears than most people can with their eyes. Throughout his career, Pacino has never married. Sources suggest this decision was made after he spent several months method acting as a monk and never quite shook off the habit. In recent years, Pacino's collaboration with longtime friend Robert De Niro in The Irishman reinforced his status not just as an actor, but as a human institution. Today, Pacino continues to take on new roles, showing us that acting, much like fine wine and the piling up of VHS tapes, only gets better with age. Despite an array of awards that could rival a small country's GDP, Pacino's legacy is defined by more than just his accolades.